Welcome to Thez Nutz Garage, and today we're going to be installing our new front door. Like I said in the intro, what we're going to be doing today is installing a new front door in our house. And this is a house we've owned for several years, and we had to move away, kind of abandoned the house, and now we've moved back up to our farm. And what we're going to be doing is finishing our house out up here. Now, the door you see here is not the door we're going to be installing, but it's just a door I put up here temporarily because around Thanksgiving we ordered a front door for this house. Today is March 2nd. So it's taken us a little over 4 months to get our front door, and there's a couple of factors that went into that. One, it's a special order. Two, the COVID stuff's going on, and it seems like everybody's plants are shutting down everywhere due to this, and it's hard to just get anything anymore. And two, or number three, is we were waiting on some kind of part, and they sent us a message that the door's delayed because of a part. It'll be here on a such and such date, and you'll have your door by the end of February, 1st of March. So got our door in. Well, guess what? It's wrong. So I'll show you, and this is kind of a problem with ordering doors from big box store places, is you kind of get an idea what they're sending you, but you don't really know because they don't give you a full 360 image of the door, the way it's going to be built. They just give you some black and white image of the door that you supposedly ordered. They told us that it's going to be better in the future when ordering doors like this because of some new programs. And the company that I ordered this door from is, maybe this one. Now, they get it from another vendor, but needless to say, the door was held up, and then when it come in wrong. And I'll show you that once we get this door hung up. Now, what I'm going to be doing is removing this door and taking it down, and we're going to be installing this door later on in our, I guess, the door between our kitchen and our laundry room. Now, this door right here is off of my grandmother's house that was up the street. And this door, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have a picture of this door on her house from 1850. So this door is extremely old, and I want to take really good care of it, and I want to keep it out of the weather. So that's why we're going to be using it as an interior door in the future. So we're going to take this door down, set it to the side, and then we're going to get to installing our new door. And then once we get the new door installed, I'll see if you can guess what's wrong with it. Alrighty, a little quick update on the house. Since the last video that I put out, I have installed this window right here. And this is where a door used to be. And it was a big front door with 2 side lights on each side of it. But we decided to move the front door here and turn this into a casement window. And basically down here, you can crank these windows out and they'll open up, and it's not sitting right on the floor, like a French doors, but it kind of gives a quick appearance of French doors. And we kind of like that design here because we like some of the architecture and stuff down in New Orleans, and this kind of brings that little bit to us, with the way that you can actually just walk out of that front window. Like, here's the front door we're going to be replacing and then putting in a new one today. This will be a wall. This room over here will be the dining room, the room when you walk in the front door. This wall will be removed coming up here shortly, and that'll be a big beam that goes across, and that way all of this is open. Now, coming into what will be our living room, we'll have a door here somewhere, and then there'll be a big 10-foot long window here. And then this will be a wall, and this will be a closet, a little bitty closet, and a hallway leading into the bathroom. But that's just a quick little update on it. The kitchen will be over here where all this mess is I'm trying to clean up. So we'll be getting onto this pretty soon. So let's get back to this front door, and I'll show you the new one, and we'll get it unwrapped. Alrighty, so here's the door we selected to put in our house. This is a Therma-Tru door. It's all fiberglass. The exterior of the door is pre-painted when it came in. We do have the brick mold, which is in this box. And that's basically the trim that goes around the outside edge of the door all the way around. And what I'm gonna do is, I'm not gonna be installing my brick mold today. When I start doing the vinyl siding on the house, I'll install it then. I just don't want it to get messed up during till that time, so I'm just gonna leave it in this box and put it up. Now, we did have a problem with this door, like I said, and the problem is the grids are white. When we ordered this door, the grids were supposed to be black and on the outside of the glass. Now, the problem with these grids is you say, well, just paint them black. They're on the inside of the glass, so we can't even access them. So what I've done is I talked to Lowe's, and they were really accommodating, and they wanted to get the door to us, but they knew if we didn't want the door, well, we don't have to buy it. We can just give us our money back, and then they have a $2,000 door sitting in their store on clearance, and it'll be really hard to sell a door like this for the amount of money they wanted to sell it for. Now, they gave us a little bit of a discount on the door to lower the price, and then they gave us all the materials for me to fix it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna fix this once I get this door hung. Alrighty, so how I'm gonna fix these grids is by using some plastic trim here. This will accept paint. It has to be 100% acrylic. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test a piece of this and test a piece of wood the exact same size and see which one looks better. This was some material that Lowe's, they gave us this. They gave us some primer and some paint that it matches the paint of the door. So basically all I'm gonna do, and I'll have a video on this if you want me to when I do this, but I'm just gonna measure this from top to bottom, and I'm gonna cut my trim the same size. And I'm basically just going to paint this beforehand, and I'm basically just going to glue this trim over the grids that are existing already here. And what that'll do is these grids will be black on the outside, but from the inside, the door will be white. And when we paint the door white, it'll match the grids from the inside. So if you're looking from the inside out, you'll see white grids, and when you're on the outside looking in, you'll see these black grids. And these will just be on the outside of the window, and I'll use a kind of like a 3M double-sided tape and just stick them right to it. It won't be that big of a job, but the way this was messed up, we saved an extra 10% off of this door. I think we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 40% off of this door when we ordered it with this also. So this will be something coming up in the near future, and that's how I'm going to fix that. I like to give a big shout out to the people who worked at Lowe's, because they did do a great job and worked with us to figure out a solution to fix this door. Alright, so what I'm fixing to do now is I'm going to be nailing up some 2x4s up against the door frame, like this. And these are just scrap 2x4s. They're nothing that's going to be here for very long. But what they'll do is I'm going to put one here and one down here. And when I'm setting this door in, because I'm all by myself, and I push the door in, this will stop it from going too far. And it's going to put the outside of the door where exactly it needs to be. Now, in the time-lapse video, you did see that I added a spacer in here. And what this is just a 1x. I was about an inch too wide on my rough opening. So this is 3/4 of an inch by 3.5 inches. And it just fit in there just perfect. 82.5 inches, I cut it and just nailed it into that buck. So what I'm going to be using to nail up these boards, which is a pretty cool tool, is a DeWalt. It's basically a nailer for framing, a frame gun nailer. That's what I call it. And this is pretty neat because it's cordless. It just uses a battery. And no, I'm not sponsored by DeWalt, but they sure can sponsor me if they want to. You see, that's the gun right there. So I wouldn't recommend building a house with it, but for doing little stuff like this, it's perfect. So let's jump in here and get ready to install our door. All right, so what I'm going to do now is this is just some basic caulk. I'm just going to put me a few beads on the bottom of this threshold here, so that way when I set the door in, it'll have a little bit of sealant underneath it. Once I get my door installed, I will go back and put in some of the spray foam that's made for windows and doors, so that way it doesn't expand too much and make your door out of whack. So let's put some of this caulk down here. And what that's going to do is being that this door is under a roof, all it's really going to do is prevent a little bit of air or any moisture from coming in from the bottom. There won't be any rain or any moisture directly above this door because of the roof. So what I'm going to do now is grab my door, and this door doesn't have the brick mold on it. I showed you the brick mold in the box and I wasn't putting it on just yet. So if I had the brick mold on this door already, I would have to go from the outside, inserting this door from the outside in. But being there's no trim on the door, I can do it from the inside out. And like I said, that's what these boards are for, is to keep the door from going too far. So let's set in our door. Now I'm putting the bottom in first. I'm just trying to push it as far in as I can. Put my foot down at the bottom of the door to hold its place. Oh, forgot something. When you have a pre-hung door that you get that comes in, there is a little plastic locking, I'll call it a mechanism, on the door to keep it from swinging open. And it's basically a screw that goes in through the deadbolt. And there's another little plastic piece in here that's also keeping the door closed. But once you remove this piece from this trim, you can remove the other piece from the inside. But you have to remove this before you completely install your door, because if you don't, you're never going to open your door. All right, so the door is just sitting in there, and what we won't have to do next is screw it into place. But there's one thing you want to make sure. If you're doing a door like this, and you're doing it where the brick mold is not on your trim, you do want about a ½ inch of your door trim and your wall. Because when you put your sheetrock up, what that's going to do is make this part of the door casing and your sheetrock smooth. So remember that. Don't make this part of the trim flush with your 2x4 wall or 2x6 wall, because if you do, your sheetrock's not going to fit right. All right, this is what I just want to show you real quick. This is a ½ inch where the door casing is sticking out away from the wall, about a ½ inch, and that's what you want. So that way when you lay your sheetrock on your wall, all of this and your sheetrock will be smooth. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm going to be starting to level out my door and getting it square and plumb. Now, this casing is just pushed in where it needs to be. On this door here, I have it open. And on the very back side of it back here, I have a shim to keep the door up and level where it needs to be and it won't move. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to remove one of these screws from the hinges. And as you can see, that's a little bitty screw. What I want to do is use a longer screw, and I might even use a little bit longer one than this. And what that's going to do is penetrate through the door casing and get into the studs that are behind this casing. Now, I'm not just going to tighten it up as hard as I can because I don't want it to get the door out of square. And I'm just starting here. So we're going to put it in and just lightly, like that. Just get it sunk down in there so that way we can shut the door and the screw sticking out of that hinge doesn't interfere. So once we do this, I'm going to go up through here and make sure all of this casing is level. And in each one of the hinges, I'm going to put one long screw. Alrighty, so I'm going to check my casing again with my level. Make sure that the casing is level, so that's good. It's going to do what we did just a minute ago. We're going to remove a screw. And install another. That's a little longer. Just kind of recessing it a little bit, just not trying to tighten it all the way up. I'm going to do that one more time up here at the top, and I'll be right back. All right, now what I'm going to start doing is getting ready to install my screws that will go on the outside of this door casing. There'll be one here, one here, one up here, and then when I come on to this side of the door, there'll be one up here, one here, and one down here. And basically what that's going to do is hold this casing in place. I'm putting some right here and here because I want to make sure that somebody ever tries to kick in my door that this casing is really strong right in here. Of course, you can tell this is really all that's holding a criminal out of your house, is this much wood. So keep that in mind. It's always good for when you do put in your striker plates for these to use really long screws, not what they give you. So that way your screw penetrates all the way through the door casing and into this wood here. And what that'll do is it strengthens up this part of the case and helps prevent somebody from breaking into your house. But the first drill bit that I'm going to use to start this is a 5/16 drill bit like this. And there are some bits that you can get that will countersink your screws holes, but I don't have one of those. So basically what I'm going to do is drill this far down, and then I'll come back with another drill bit to go through the rest of the way, and that will allow me to countersink my screws into the door. And when I get ready to paint the door casing, I'll fill it full of caulk, paint over it, and you'll never really know the screw is in there. Now once I get all of these screws in place, I'm going to be putting my level on the outside of this casing and making sure that this casing is flush with the wall and it's all level. Once I get all that done, I'll jump back over here and put in these screws because I have to shim this door and I have to get all this square as well. Alrighty, so what you see me do is setting these screws right here, countersinking them. What I did was making sure the door was flush with the outside of this trim, so that way when I put my brick mold on, it all lays smooth. And also making sure this casing right here was level. You want this level. You also want it square. I'll show you what I mean on the inside. Same thing over here. I did 3 screws on the outside. Here's some little shims I put in there. I'll just cut them off real quick. And I got one down at the bottom. So on the inside, when you shut this door, you want this door to shut fairly easy. You don't want it to be grabbing. So up here at the top, you want to make sure this right here has a nice even gap all the way around here. So that way when you shut your door, it doesn't hang up. So what I'll be doing next is probably putting this door handle on. So let's get that going. All right, so what I'm gonna be doing now is installing my hardware for my door. And what the brand we're gonna be using, this is a Callan, I believe is pronounced. Bought this a little while back and been holding on to it for this. Now this is, what comes in this box is, here's your template. And this template's gonna be very important here in a minute, and I'll show you why. We wanna keep this, make sure this is in the packet, and then here's also your instructions. Now, this door, when I ordered it, I had it pre-drilled for my deadbolt and my regular handle here. You can also see that it's been drilled and recessed for your, I guess this would be your lock. I don't know exactly what it is, but this is what it is. This is what goes in these holes. They fit like that. So they've been recessed so all that stuff fits flush. Now, this will be the outside of the deadbolt, and it goes something similar to this. You know, it'll be in there like that. And then this is what goes on the back side of the door. Now this handle will be on the back side on the lower part, because this is what you'll turn to go in and out of. And then this is the front handle that goes down here. Now that template I just showed you is important because it gives you this measurement. So that way when you screw this into the door, you drill one hole and you don't have to you know, guess at it. That template is what that is for. So what I'm gonna do is put this on time lapse as I install all of this door hardware, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I've got this door installed. Like I said, I still have to do my brick mold later. I got my hardware installed. Door shuts pretty easy, and the deadbolt snaps in there real easy. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking to have to push your door in to get your deadbolt to finally get in there. But that's it. It's installed. All I have to do is when we get ready to paint the house, the back side of this door will be painted white. This is just a primer. So I'll probably have to take this hardware back off in the future, but for right now it keeps unsavory characters from just walking in. So all right, so that's going to be the end of this video. We did get our front door installed, and I do have a few more little things like the brick mold and the trim for the grids, and get that painted black and get those installed. Now, if you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to Thez Nutz Garage, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because we're going to have a bunch more videos on the house, on the 98 Expedition, on Betty White, which is our 2014 Ford Fusion, and also the 1978 F350. I'm going to get to working on that some more. I'm going to be doing some suspension work to it, and I do have a new name for the 78. So stay tuned for the name reveal in the near future. So that's going to be it. If you haven't commented yet, comment down below. If you got any questions, put those down below. And have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.